almost 30 years. I met Jerry in February of 1986, and I started learning sign then, right away, because that was one of his requirements, that we're going to develop a language, and he was so cute. I was so smitten that I immediately started learning. I got a book, and I would practice on him, and he taught me, and I developed adequate skills to marry him within 10 months. And then, so you can go from like beginning to intermediate fairly quickly, and I jumped from beginning to intermediate fairly quickly. Moving from intermediate to an advanced is years, and moving from advanced to native is even more years. I'm pretty close to native. I can pass for deaf at this point. I don't do that, but I could. A lot of times when people meet me, a lot of deaf people meet me for the first time, they assume I'm deaf because I'm signing like they're signing. And then later they find out I'm hearing, and they're surprised that I'm hearing. So 30 years. That's how you get there. I met and married a deaf man, so I began sign language with him. And then interpreting just kind of naturally grew out of my relationship with him. I interpreted at church, terribly bad to begin with, and interpreted social situations, and then over time as my skills developed in sign language, I started kind of just doing some freelance interpreting for people, and eventually became an educational interpreter, and now I am no longer a licensed interpreter. I just do it for church and for things I want to. I used to work at the Downtown Inn in Jonesboro. It was a little hotel, and Jerry had started working at the post office, and it was his birthday, and he was supposed to go to Little Rock for a birthday party with his friends in Little Rock, and he actually lived in Walnut Ridge and always drove to Little Rock the Walnut Ridge way, and he didn't know the way from Jonesboro, so he stopped at this hotel where I worked at the front desk, and he wrote a note and asked me the way to get to Little Rock. Well, I knew how to do that, so I drew out a map and showed him how to get to Little Rock, but then he never left. He stayed, and we used like the back sides of paper menus in the little coffee shop connected to the hotel, and we wrote notes, and then when I got off work at 11 o'clock at night, we went into the coffee shop and wrote notes again until probably 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and then he called and asked me out on a date, and I turned him down. He didn't call, he had his brother call, and then he had someone else call again, and I turned him down again, and then he came in person, and I said yes. I turned him down because he was 30. Yeah, he's 10 and a half years older than me, and he was breaking my rule. It was not because he was deaf. I can't explain that, except that Jerry's deafness has never been, oh, he's deaf, this is fascinating, or repel, either way. It was like, he's got brown hair, he's got brown eyes, he's really cute, he's deaf. It's all kind of it's just who he is, and I was neither repelled nor fascinated by that aspect, but by him. I don't really look at it that way because I live it. I'm as much part of the deaf community as I'm part of the hearing, and that's partly because I've been doing it 30 years. I have deaf people on the other side. You're asking me this way. I have deaf people on the other side who'll say, well, did you marry Jerry because you really like sign language? And I'll say, no, I married Jerry because I really like him, and I learned sign language because I really like him. And so it's the same idea of like this weird kind of, I don't have anything that I love. I mean, there are certain signs that I think are beautiful and I love, and I think that I've reaped a lot of benefits, a much better listener, much more expressive in who I am, much more outgoing than who I was, and all of that is related to Jerry and sign language. Those things I would not have done. I'm extremely introverted and was very shy, super shy, and I've been his ears and his mouth for so long that it forced me over time to come out of that. So I've reaped a lot of benefits. So if there's a favorite part, that's it.